For quite some time now, I've been trying to find a way to add multiple screens to my laptop because that's what I use to edit all my videos. And this is where this baby comes into play, because what this does is that it turns your single screen laptop into a 3-screen setup. This unit in particular, it's one that was advertised as non-compatible with M1 and M2 MacBooks, and I have a MacBook Air M1 which is working really well for me. So I knew from the word go that my computer would only output a single video feed. I have made a custom setup for this so that it works flawless with my M1 and I get 2 additional screens, because the proposition with these setups is that you wire the laptop to the monitors and then you turn it off and then unplug the wires and then put it away. And that to me simply is not manageable, especially when in this particular model you have 2 HDMI inputs plus 2 USB power inputs. So that means 4 ports that you need to find. And obviously an M1 only has 2 USB-Cs. And this is where the key element of this setup comes into play. It's this hyperdrive hub that allows me to connect 2 HDMI outs and 2 USBs, all powering this unit. And I can literally plug this directly onto my MacBook Air. You download a little bit of software and that's all you need to do. The system gets you 2 screens automatically. It works really nice, because if I have to manually plug in and out all the cables constantly, it's an absolute pain. And there is a different setup for M1 laptops, which is this Quasi P2 Pro, which I was really excited about it when I first got it. It actually folds rather neatly. You have a little micro SD card on the unit that has the software that allows for the additional screen on the M1, so you can have 2 screens, and theoretically it's all running off a single USB-C cable. But by doing that, it becomes a real problem to be dealing with powering the laptop as well as ingesting media, because these adapters, they do draw a lot of power. And also another thing that I found is that when I compare these 2 units, this one has a larger screen and a brighter screen than this one. So even though this unit is theoretically designed for the M1 and it should do the job, and it genuinely does the job better than this other one, in actual real fact, this one is a better unit, because I can have this hyperdrive permanently attached to the back of this unit. So all I need to do is just get this one cable directly into my Mac. But the beauty of this is that I have an additional USB-C port here. I can plug my hard drive directly onto the hyperdrive, as well as mains power to power the monitors as well as the laptop. And it frees one USB-C port on my Mac in case that I need to have additional media or a card reader or another USB-C hub. So this gives me a lot more flexibility. I got this one thinking that this was the solution, and yes, it's a really nice system, but the screen is definitely worse on this P2 Pro than on this S2. And this is one of the reasons why I'm returning this one, the one that is specifically designed for the M1 laptop, because even though it works great, it's not as good and functional as this setup, especially once you do your custom wiring so that you don't need to be wiring everything constantly. Yes, it's a little bit cumbersome, but the flexibility that you get is so much better. And really and truly, it doesn't take that long to set up, roughly about 10 to 15 seconds. You can use this setup on your desk and it's gonna work fantastic, but it's not a very ergonomically good position. The solution that I have come up with is very simple and very inexpensive, and it's to get a screen stand, something like this. I got this one off Amazon and it's great because it has some ventilation here. But what I really like about this one is the fact that the feet are adjustable, and I can have the rear feet fully extended and the front ones is slightly lower, so that the laptop is inclined, it's not so much straight. And another aspect that I really like about this particular stand that helps with this setup is the fact that you have this little groove here. it helps the support bracket not to slip when you have the setup raised up. It works really nice. And look, I'm gonna show you how quickly you can do this, okay? Put the laptop here. My 3 screens are working. This setup works really well because what I can do now is I can have it there and I could be working here and my neck is not looking down. It's in a lot more comfortable position and I have full control of the screen. The quality of this screen is not as good as the main screen, but for editing, you just want a preview. You don't need to have that screen to be of super quality because you already have your laptop screen that you can then play back and adjust the colors if you're doing any grading. And when you're done with it, all you need to do is eject it from your computer, unplug it, and just like that, it goes away onto your storage or whatever it is, and that's it. That's your entire setup is gone and you can then use your laptop for whatever it is that you want to do. This is the setup that I use these days because I don't have the luxury of my own studio where I can have my desk permanently. I need to pack and unpack and fold and unfold my equipment. And yes, you could theoretically multitask and have your browser on one screen and your emails on another one and whatever it is that you do on the main screen. But the quality of the screen on your laptop, it is going to be better than this screen. So I think this is best for someone that is going to use this setup for a specific program or app. So I use it pretty much only for when I'm editing on Davinci Resolve. I'd rather keep things nice and neat and simple when I'm doing emails or browsing the internet. But when I'm doing editing, I do value having that extra screen space so that I can have things better organized. This accessory or this piece of equipment is not cheap. It's gonna cost you anywhere between $200 to $500 or even $600. They can literally go up to nearly $1,000. I bought mine on sales for around, I don't know, the exchange in dollars must have been around $300. And then the hyperdrive was around $100. So all in all was around $400, which is more or less what I paid for this one. And this I'm returning. I'm not suggesting here that you have to buy this model or that model. I'm not even suggesting that you have to buy it. But if you are someone that has limited space to work, but you always wanted to have that additional screen space for better workflow, you can put it on and then put it away in a matter of seconds, and it just works really nice. It has been so helpful that I thought someone might find it interesting because it's gonna increase your workflow. It's gonna definitely increase your workflow. If you can afford it and you are in that situation looking for something like this is gonna be very good. Are there any negatives? Well, yes, there are. This is not perfect. It's a little bit too heavy, but then if you take into consideration that you're having 2 screens, in the grand scheme of things, actually, really, it's not that heavy. But yes, there is a certain amount of weight. And obviously, having to fold and unfold, it's a little bit of a pain, especially because you have all this wiring that you need to have around. What it would be really great is if you could have the functionality of this one with a single cable, but with the size and quality of this one, which obviously this is what I've done by having a custom-made setup here. But what it would be really great is if this is integrated within the screen itself, which is what you get here. And this is why this one is also heavier, because all of that hardware that I have on the hyperdrive hub is built into this setup. Another thing that I would love to be able to do is to adjust the height of the screens so that they line up perfectly with the screen on my laptop. I know that there are units that you can do this. You can even remove them and have them vertical. You're gonna be paying twice as much, but it is possible if you are willing to spend the money. And really and truly, that's all the negative that I have. And hopefully you found this video interesting and maybe I showed you something that you didn't know about. I'll leave a link in the video description below if you want to buy me a coffee. Thank you in advance if you do so, it's really appreciated. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Or even better, subscribe to the channel because it's really nice to see the numbers going up. And I will see you in the next one.